Hey, David Agranoff here to talk about the cover reveal for Flesh Trade, a novel I co-wrote with Edward Morris, excellent science fiction writer from up in Portland. We wrote this together a couple years ago when I was still living in Portland, and we're very proud of this book and very excited to reveal the cover. And so I'm going to talk way too much about just the cover art and what you can expect in Flesh Trade, just to give you a little preview. So the cover art was done by the amazing Matthew Revert, who has done covers for several of my novels, and he did the cover for Punk Rock Ghost Story, which is amazing, Boot Boys of the Wolfreich, which I just love, and then Amazing Punk Stories. Of course, Amazing Punk Stories had the awesome art of Nick Gucker on it too. So what we wanted to do with the cover of Flesh Trade was something that kind of had a retro 60s vibe, like an early Norman Spinrad, like Men in the Jungle, Agents of Chaos, that kind of thing, because that kind of Dangerous Visions style of new wave science fiction is something that both Edward and I are totally influenced by, and it's something we talked a lot about when writing Flesh Trade. So, we just love those old, like, psychedelic vintage covers, and so that's kind of what we got. The idea with the split faces should be apparent when we get to talking about the plot. Just the amazing detail that Matthew puts into his covers. It's just awesome. And, like little things like the spiraling galaxy and the sunglasses of the eyes. It's just really cool stuff. So, really appreciated that. So let's talk about the book itself and what's on the back cover. So we have, obviously a plot description, which I'll read to you now. We had these questions at the top. Would you risk control of your mind and soul? Would you scour the darkest gutters on an alien world? Just wanted to kind of start off with those questions. So the back cover says, Andal Shelton is a political savvy governor on one of humankind's most populated colonies, a rising star on the scene, married to one of the most famous actresses in all the world. Their ideal life is thrown into turmoil when their youngest daughter, Liv, is kidnapped and sold into sexual slavery on a hell world beyond the red line of human expansion. Using all the resources of his power, Andal follows the traffickers who stole his little girl to the colony of Newcock, a pleasure planet beyond the rule of law except for the law of the jungle. Flesh Trade is a politically charged story of 24th century crime taking place on a lawless world where our humble protagonist quickly learns that military tactics and political power are meaningless. He resorts to a mind fuse to upload the memory and skills of a dead war hero, Colonel John Stack, and fights his way through the city to save his daughter. The fuse only lasts for one night on Newcock before the uploaded pattern takes over the host. With this clock counting down, Andal must battle genetically modified gangsters, dirty cops, sex slavers, underground surgeons, mercenaries, cannibals, and aliens, while struggling to control his own mind with only one night to save his daughter. So, and then it says, for fans of Neil Asher, Philip K. Dick, this novel is a magnum opus of world-building, mind-bending, speculative noir. Agranoff and Morris have plotted a terrifying path into a dangerous vision of the future. Come along for the ride, if you dare. Now, we made comparisons to Neil Asher and Philip K. Dick. They were obviously influences on this work, but I definitely think the Neil Asher comparison is one that will eventually happen, whether we want it to or not. I just think people will see. Ed and I were both big fans of The Skinner by Neil Asher, and I think that's pretty evident in the book. So the last thing that's on the cover is there's a blurb from the very first review of Flesh Trade. Marvin Vernon of the novel Pursuit is the first critic I gave a copy of the book to. And so he wrote a pretty long review that will eventually be out there. But my favorite part of the review, because I think it captures the book really well, is its effortless switch from socio-political world building to sci-fi noir that makes this novel work so well. An edge-of-your-seat adventure reeking in crime noir, mercenary action, and underworld decadence. What is impressive is how well they come together and how we never lose the humanity of the main characters through all the double-dealing and violence. If you have any love for science fiction, I highly recommend this as your next read. Thanks, Marvin. We're going to have a video out soon kind of talking about the genesis of this book, but just wanted to, kind of give you a heads up about the cover. This book is one we're really proud of. So, anyways, thanks for listening. Bye.